attack us. So my sister was great. The male friends weren't so great, but she was always sweet. We always had a good relationship, but we weren't real close. You know, my sister also got out of Roosevelt while it was still kind of a nice community, and she went off to college. And like I said, it was nice. The only memory I have really that we spent the day together, she got her driver's license and she decided to drive me to the beach, but that was the last time that ever happened. She was completely annoyed by me. I was horrible to be around, evidently, at the beach, because I like to talk and my sister likes to just kind of luxuriate and read and not really get bothered.
I feel we had a very good relationship because I loved him very much, and, you know, I didn't see him a lot because of the 4-year difference, and I was with my friends and he was with his friends, so there wasn't that sibling fighting, or we were just really happy. You know, we would play board games together. Really, that was, you know, was a good relationship.
My daughter is very genuine and really adores her brother, and her brother's very good to her, as he is to the whole family.
He is, as a brother, the most loving, supporting. Anytime I have a problem, he is there for me. People don't see that. He's wonderful to my 2 children. He's always been in their life. He's always been there. He's there for his 3 girls. And he's a very sensitive, wonderful brother, and I'm very lucky to have him.
His sister was my sister's best friend. They were very loving and very caring for each other. I was always impressed. I always wanted to have, I had 2 older sisters, but yeah, Ellen was really wonderful. But also very funny and laughing. I mean, she would react more to Ben's jokes and stories, you know, kind of like Ray did. But I can hear Ellen laughing in my head, and Ray too. I mean, I can hear that laughter because they just were always a very funny family and always seemed to have a lot of joy around them.
We know that Ellen Stern doesn't like the attention on her, so let's get back to Howard.
Getting back that, we were very supportive of him and what he wanted to do. I mean, just to run down some of the things that we did. He was very interested in puppets. We used to go to England, you know, we had vacations. In those years that we went there, we'd buy
Marionettes.
Marionettes. And they had the best. We brought them to him. Then there was Jerry Mahoney. That was called that a puppet?
Dummy. A dummy.
And he would use that. And then I built him a stage to put on these productions, you know, with his curtain and he stand on top. And that worked out pretty good.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know.
You could see that he had a way of expressing himself, you know, with puppets and dummies and all kinds of things like that.
He was a creative person. My mother had gotten him a lot of marionettes, and he would think of plays to do, and he would have all the neighborhood kids come over, and he would give wonderful shows. My father built him a stage for his marionettes, and he was always creative that way.
Howard was a great kid and actually pretty quiet. You know, he was not someone who you would have picked to become the Howard Stern that we all know. He collected comics, and I used to love to go over to his house and read his comics because he had this fantastic comic collection, which he kept under his bed. And just because the houses were really small, and that was the storage space. And we used to go and sit and read comics. And he also had this fabulous puppet theater down in the basement, and he had marionettes, and he could put on the most incredible performances of these marionette shows. So that was something else that we used to do at his house, and was really different than everybody else had. But he was, you know, kind of a quiet kid. He was somebody who observed what was going on. He didn't comment a lot. He wasn't one of the loud, popular kids, though everybody liked him and knew him. And he was just a great kid.
The laughter was in the basement. He had a great basement. He had all this equipment from his father's business. Tape commercials, and he had marionettes and puppets, and we do all kinds of things. He had nudist magazines. I think the first nude woman I saw was in Howard's basement in a magazine.
There's no
I started him on his hobby of marionettes, and then he started to have the kids in. He would perform at his birthday party, and he brought the Jerry Mahoney dummy to school, and the teacher said it was a wonderful thing because Howard showed another side of himself.
In the 5th grade, we always had show and tell. We sort of were having like these puppet wars. Like I'd come in one week with a marionette, and then he would come in the next week with a marionette. And then eventually our teacher said, why don't you guys start writing some stories and perform, with the marionettes? And we were excused from class on numerous occasions to script puppet shows.
He wanted to put on a production, a Fiddler on the Roof. He wrote the scenario and so forth, and I made him up a soundtrack. I cut up from the music so he'd have a short version of it. And he put this thing on, and the first performance he did, he had a girl, playing in the part too. He did it at the Temple.
Howard and I did puppet shows together for what they called the Golden Age Club that I think was part of the synagogue at the time. There was a senior citizens group. And I remember he and I did a marionette show that his mother helped us with. We did a show with lines like a script for Fiddler on the Roof, and then we moved the puppets to the songs of Fiddler on the Roof, and I think his mother helped us with costumes for the marionette. And we put that show on for that senior citizens group, and everybody loved it.
So after he got finished, they were so overtaken with us that they wanted to start book him in other places, go on tour. I said, that's it. But I want to show you that he really was so creative in those days. Anything he did was so good.
Fiddler on the Roof. Sounds crazy, no?
My mom was crowing because she'd allow 5 of my friends to come over and she'd have make your own Sunday. You would have thought she was Albert Einstein. She'd be like, "Who? None of these kids have make your own Sunday. Look what I did." And they could pick their own chocolate sauce and nuts and ice cream.
And then it had to be, all right, you can have 5 friends, so you have to pick and choose among your friends.
And then my mom would make me she'd go, "You're so good with your puppets. Mike, you put together a puppet show for the kids for the entertainment." I'm like, why don't you go get somebody to entertain us?
It's your birthday.
Yeah, so I had to entertain the kids. I had to have that pressure. Come up with a good show. I've been coming up with shows my whole life. I don't know.
Well, maybe it prepared you for this. Maybe it's a good thing.
Maybe. Yeah, but they were all dirty puppet shows. My mom got pissed because the kids would come over and have the sailor raping this girl. That's what I figured sailors did.
Oh, my goodness.
I had a pirate and a sailor fighting over this girl.
How old were you?
I don't know, 7.
And you had sailors raping girls already?
Yeah, that's life.
Oh, yeah. Where
baby. What?
Where'd you learn that?
I don't know. Dad. I don't know. It all got very perverted. Oh, that was the end of that. Pretty soon I was spreading joy throughout the community.
You like that, huh?
Oh, yes, I love it, baby. Give it to me. Oh, baby, yes. Right there. Oh, more. Harder.
You want it harder?
Oh, yes, harder. Please, give it to me, please. But why can't I play with my puppy?
Shut up, you know why.
I don't think I ever saw an X-rated puppet show, but it's extremely possible that it did happen at some point. Our hormones were starting to kick in, and one of the few outlets we had were the puppets.
I never saw an X-rated puppet show. I think that's an exaggeration. I mean, maybe later he did stuff like that or when he was alone. But that was not stuff that we saw a lot of in elementary and junior high. And, there was, have spin the bottle at parties and stuff like that. But, it was a much more innocent time. And there just wasn't a lot of that stuff that happened.
I never saw it. I don't think he would show it that to his sister. So I never saw that. I can't comment.
But the wooden puppet soon gave way to the electricity of radio. Willie BMR serving all my scooters out there with exclusive jazz from the Beatles tour for the next 30 days. It'll be all exclusive with Willie BMR on WMCA only here in New York town. And, of course, play more music, more people on the New York turf. Stay tuned now for the next Good Guys show after a 2-hour hiatus on WMCA in New York, the home of the Good Guys. Hey, Mama, come and get your baby boy.
This is WOR-FM. This is Murray the K. This is our block programming by the hour. We've had happening sounds for you, and we've had the attitude block in our Goldie portion of the show with the Stones, Get Off of My Cloud, the Supremes, I Hear a Symphony, and the Young Rascals' first big hit, Good Lovin'.
Hi, everybody. Here's your cousin Brucey tonight from beautiful Palisades Amusement Park. Take my hand. It's going to be simply grand. Yeah? 77 WABC degrees Scatso here, moving and grooving with something new and great to Roy Orbison's Pretty Woman. Oh, yeah. Everybody digs one of those. Right, Roy? Gone.
When I was a kid and I'd listen to all news radio with my father, I'd hear a noise in the background, I'd hear a door open. I wanted the announcer to go, oh, guess who just came in? I wanted them to paint the picture for me.
I felt he showed a lot of interest because he liked to listen to talk hosts in those days. There wasn't many of them. Most of it was music. And we would discuss who was, like MCA in those days had people on the air. And then I saw that Bob Grant, at that time a very famous announcer.
It's 11 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. 11 o'clock here at WMCA. And, ladies and gentlemen, if you were about to leave, if you were going to go out shopping or for some reason leave your radio, I advise you to cancel those plans. Call the airport wherever you were going and cancel because for the next half hour or so, we're going to be talking with two members of the Gay Activists Alliance.
He was going to appear at the Temple Land, so I took Howard to go listen to his lecture because I knew he was interested in radio, and he was introduced to him and he spoke to him. So I always felt that he had this interest, and I really supported it because it's always good to do what you like to do rather than just do something for no other reason. You can achieve more if you do something you like. And I always would discuss radio. When I used to take him in the car, I used to hear me talk, and I says, you know, I don't understand it. If I want news, I'll get news on the news station. Because they kept interrupting this station all the time, with the guy with talking in the middle of a word. Whoop, we now go to a commercial. So I always felt that it was so unlistenable. But he always commented about it, and we spoke about it, and I always felt he had a real interest.
Once a year, my old man would break down and take me to work with him. A little quality time. I like that, a little bonding. Dad and son together. I look forward to that.
Take my hand, Howard. And remember, Howard, I work here, so keep your mouth shut.
Never know how much I love you.
You're spinning, you're spinning, you're spinning.
It's going record.
No, nobody gives a goddamn about it. None of it. What the fuck is this fucking record? Wait, none of it means anything. It's
Sid, you're out in 15 seconds. Get a grip on yourself.
Ah, what the hell do you know, you bastard, you meat-guy? You're gonna play the music for the people? It doesn't
Symphony Sid, by the powers vested in me by the Federal Communications Commission, I command you to get on the microphone in a serious manner and continue this broadcast.
This is Sunday Blues and Jazz, and I'm your host, Symphony Sid. And now, something for a blues Sunday.
From that moment on, I wanted to be on the radio.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
I would bring him in when I did recording, and he was off. And he would sit there and watch, and I did some of the people that were acting there in the cartoons was, just some of them was like Don Adams, he saw Larry Storch, Wally Cox did Underdog, and, he got interested in all that, and he would spend the day with me, and he always looked forward to the lunches. He always ordered nice lunches.
He majored in lunch.
Majored in lunch.
I told you my dad was my dad had a recording studio, and they used to record Tennessee Tuxedo cartoons.
Yeah.
Among other ones, King Leonardo, all kinds of different ones. Don Adams was the voice of Tennessee Tuxedo, the guy from Get Smart. So I guess they released the DVD, and on